Hello and welcome to Darkcity Radio. This is the I Am Show and I'm your host Sarah. That was just my new jingle. I think it makes me laugh anyway. It's funny. Thank you, Lee, for that. Well, today I'm going to be talking about trust, but before I get on and before I start talking about it, I'll just go through again in brief what the show's all about, even though it does keep changing over time from what it originally was to what it is now, but that's cool. So what the idea was about this show is this show in particular is to talk about trust, and it's to look at ourselves and the way that we are and the way that we project our energies and the way that we use our emotions or the way that our emotions use us, depending on which way around that's what we try and discover in this show is to understand our emotions and to understand our feelings and to best be able to by understanding them, then we're best able to let them flow, because the emotions are, at the end of the day, energy, and energy needs to keep flowing, like a river. Otherwise, it just gets stagnant, and we don't want to get stagnant because that's when it causes blocks within your body, and you end up getting stuck in patterns of just going round and round and round in circles and making the same mistakes over again, and allowing other people's behavior and actions to direct which direction your life's next going to go into. So it's about really letting go of control, taking responsibility, and working your way forward in life and not repeating the same patterns over and over and over again. I suppose that's really what the aim of my show seemed to be heading more towards these days. But who knows, it might be something different next week. Anyway, so what I'm talking about today is trust, and it's an important emotion or feeling, whatever you want to call it, to have trust. And it's quite an interesting topic to research, because while I've been researching it, I first looked up, like on forums and things like that, what sort of answers people come out with to the question, like, what is trust? What is trust to people? And so it's quite interesting to see, and I wasn't actually surprised by the answers. But these are the answers that I was finding on the forum. You know, they're just very basic answers to what does trust mean to you. And people say when asked, like, trust means that you rely on someone for something. The relationship between people also has a lot to do with it. Trust, and most of the time, betrayal of trust can end relationships. That's kind of a common sort of answer. Another one is something people have to gain. Easy to lose and extremely hard to get back. Confidence is someone's word. Being able to tell someone anything. Another sort of answer was knowing someone will never hurt you on purpose. Believing someone who has your best interests at heart, that they will put you before them. Another kind of answer is don't trust anyone. And this seems to be quite a quote that I found quite a lot. It seemed to be encouraging people not to trust anyone, or that trust is a bad thing to have, you know, and if you put your trust in whatever, you're going to lose it. But yeah. So it seems to be a way that people seem to be pointed towards and told to be is untrustful, not to trust others and not to trust themselves. So the sort of trust quotes I saw a lot of, again, a lot to do with relationships and stuff like that. And a relationship without trust is like a car without gas. You stay, but you don't go nowhere. You don't go anywhere where you want to go. All right, hang on, I'll start again. It's my reading. A relationship without trust is like a car without gas. You stay in it, all goes. It all goes but it won't go anywhere. Yeah, you basically won't go anywhere. Well, you know, you just end up sitting there. Without trust, you're not going to move forward, I think is what they're trying to say. And love is weakest when there is more doubt than trust, but love is strongest when we learn to trust in spite of doubts. Whether it's a friendship or a relationship, all bonds are built on trust. Without it, you have nothing. So most of it that I found relating to trust a lot was actually putting trust outside of yourself. It was actually giving this really powerful thing, emotion, whatever you want to call it, away, giving the power of it away and putting it as if it's something to do with somebody else. Real proper trust is nothing to do with anybody else. It's how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your life choices. And that's what trust, that's the kind of trust that I'm going to be talking about today. Your own personal trust. Okay, so, it's just like, when we're not in trust, when we don't trust ourselves, life can be pretty hard going, really. Like I said, it's one of those things you need to be able to keep the energies flowing. It's something that you can't allow. Well, if you don't trust, this is basically the sort of things that you'll be feeling. I'll try and explain it that way better. Okay, so like if you're not trusting, you can do things like have anxiety or panic attacks. And I've experienced this in the past, like before I decided to go down and create this path that I've created for myself. I used to get pretty bad anxiety at times, find it really difficult to sleep at night, have sort of panic about things, be really scared about things and not trusting what life was going to bring to me next. And, after quite a few full-on experiences, which I'd ended up in for one reason or another, you sometimes you end up in a position of not feeling like you can trust your own decisions, you can trust your own choices that you've made. I think most of us have been there at some point in our lives and ended up really anxious, and because we haven't known how to deal with the things that have happened to us, and we haven't known how to gain that trust back in our own lives. And this can make us anxious and panicky. Worrying about the future, that's not having trust. You don't trust, you worry about your future. You don't trust that the next step's going to be a nice one, or if it isn't as nice as what you was hoping, you won't be able to deal with it. And so worry about the future, but the future's not even being created then yet. So we're worrying about something that doesn't exist, which is when you put it like that and make it sound like that, it doesn't actually, it doesn't really make sense, does it? Worrying about something that hasn't happened and doesn't exist and might not even happen. And this is another symptom, so to say, of not trusting yourself is to worry. And like I've said before on quite a few shows, I used to be a really bad worrier. Even from a young child, I used to worry a lot about the future, about this going to be happening or that happening, or what's going to happen to me next, kind of thing. And with the anxiety and with the worry together, you end up in a pretty bad way, really, and not in a good position, really. Harboring regrets, that's another symptom of not trusting. You think that you missed that opportunity, you're never going to be able to do the opportunity again. Or regret's not really something that I've really, I suppose I have. It's regret of not doing something more for me rather than regret of something I've done. Sometimes I do think that, oh right, when I have thought maybe that was a bit out of order or whatever, but for me, if I was going to say that I'd done any of these more in the past, it is more about what I haven't done, the opportunities that have arisen and that I didn't take at the time. But I no longer feel like this because, I do trust now. So, holding yourself back, you end up holding yourself back, you don't trust in your own abilities, and you're too scared to do things, and you hold yourself back out of not having trust about what's going to happen next. Am I going to succeed? Am I not? Am I going to get hurt? Am I going to make a fool out of myself? So therefore you don't even bother trying, which isn't really a very good way of being, really, is it? None of these are. I wouldn't want any of these emotions or feelings, really, given the choice, and I do believe that we have the choice. So, suffer from irrational fears. These are all very similar, really, aren't they? Suffering from irrational fears of things that aren't even going to happen, irrational, over-the-top things that people aren't even thinking about doing to you, or, fear often doesn't have any irrationality about it. It's not grounded a lot of the time, and it's not grounded. So having irrational fears is another symptom of trust. Looking back and wishing your past was different. Wishing that you'd not made that decision to do that certain thing at that certain point. Wishing that you'd not accepted that friend in your life or that lover in your life. Wishing you could get the years back that you've wasted. That's not having trust, and that's not making the most out of the experiences that you have had. You know, that's not really something that I've personally had all that much. But then again, I do actually. When I look back sometimes, there we go, I think about things a bit more, and then I'm like, oh yeah, actually maybe I have. Yeah, I think I've had that one as well. I've probably had all of them, haven't I, at some point. Repeatedly analyse things you've done and said. Yeah, I've definitely done this one loads of times. I shouldn't have said that then, should I? I think we've all definitely done that one. But that's not trusting either in the flow and just saying things and trusting that people aren't going to think that you're just stupid or you're a bit thick or whatever you'll be thinking that they might think that you're thinking, and whatever they might think, you know, it just goes on. It's just ridiculous when you actually even try and say it, and it's a right tongue twister. So you're getting analysing things that you did or didn't say because you're worried about what somebody else is thinking or not thinking. So yeah, just too much in it. It's even too much to say, let alone to experience. Suffering feelings of jealousy. Yeah. So I suppose this one sort of like not trusting that you in yourself again is jealousy is another side effect of this. And that's really not a very nice emotion, and it's not a very nice emotion to put on to others either. You know, it can be quite a controlling and emotion when it rears its head. It can be quite full on really for the person who is getting jealous, and also for the person who is having this jealousy put onto them. It's just destructive. All of these are destructive and total waste of time really. And it's good to know that we can actually do something about all this if we are experiencing these things, and just work on ourselves and break out of these habits and circles and cycles that we go into. Procrastinating or putting things off. You know, I am not having the courage or the confidence, I suppose, or the trust in yourself to get up and just do it and just get on with it. And you're putting it off out of fear of failure, and you know, it's something that can really slow your life down. Something I've done probably quite a bit as well, procrastinated. But I do get a lot done at the same time though. I go through bouts, and I do notice when the more I procrastinate, the more I procrastinate, the more harder life seems, and the more difficult it is to actually get things done because you're procrastinating. So, you know, whereas when you just get up and do them and just have that confidence and that trust in yourself and just do the things that you want to do, things flow a lot better, don't they? Decisions for fear of getting in the way, getting it wrong. So that's another thing, is you just of not having trust. So as you can see, not having self-trust actually it brings up really not very nice feelings and not very nice emotions and not very nice place to be really. None of these places are a nice pleasant place to sit, are they? You know, we've all probably gone through all of these at some points in our lives. No, and sometimes I do find myself sort of slipping into some of these still now to this day, but I've got the tools now to actually be able to work my way through them and not actually feel them for very long. I have my moments, but it's a lot easier and a lot better for me now since I've started walking along this path I'm creating for myself, or however you want to say it. You know, it's makes life a lot easier to realize that you have got the ability to change these things in your life. Like last show I was talking about change, and it's important to change. You know, it's important to not take for granted thinking I'm just a worrier, I am just somebody who is very anxious, you know, and just accepting that as the only way of being ever. You know, it's good to accept that's the way you are from that particular moment, if that's how you are. It's good to accept it and let it go, but it's not good to think that you're unchangeable, and that you are stuck feeling this lack of trust. You know, if we looked at trust like all these people seem to look at trust, by putting it into other people and not actually understanding what it means to trust, then we're just going to be all over the place, really. We're just going to be emotional wrecks, where you meet somebody, you get on fine with them, and then all of a sudden they break your trust, and then that's it. Your trust is gone again, and it makes it very disposable, doesn't it? It makes it very breakable to pin your trust on other people, and it's not fair on that person either to pin your things on them either, your emotions or your feelings. I've found that quite a lot in relationships, that people try and pin their happiness or their love or whatever it is, that the emotions that they want, they try to pin them on you or whoever they're in a relationship with, and that makes you become reliant and dependent. And I don't really want anyone's dependent to rely on me, happiness to rely on me, because that's just so much pressure. It's not a very nice feeling, is it? So it's important, like I keep saying, to gain these things, and to look at them and look at the way you're feeling, and see if you recognise any of these cycles or any of these patterns within yourself, and then listen to the rest of the show, and we'll figure out we'll work through it. Does anyone want to say anything? Has anyone else experienced them feelings and emotions? No?
Hi, Sarah.
All right, Nerese, how are you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. Are you?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah.
I really love your jingle.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It makes me laugh. I giggle the whole way through. I'm just
I was. I think it's sounding a bit manic, probably, when I listened to that. Yes, I've got a few of my ponderings I can run by you, if you like.
Yeah, okay.
So you always send me off on a tangent. I'll be in practice now for the rest of the week. Well, with self-trust, yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. I was a massive worrier from quite a young age. I think, I can remember being like about 7 and like being in bed and crying because Jesus was dead and they nailed him to a cross, and like, ridiculous now, but there you go. Yeah. So yeah,
it is pretty horrific though, isn't it?
yeah. I think, I mean, I've always had quite a strong relationship with myself, whatever you want to call it, because of a lot of inner reflection from an early age, and like I am a constant to myself. But trust in regards to like self-belief and trusting to go with the feeling and not the voice, if you know what I mean, is a real, that's quite a tough one. That's the big one. It's hard.
Yeah, I think so. Well, what I'm going to say is just a bit like other things, like mentally, when you don't trust, you're not. What happens a lot of the time is like you're not able to attach to a point of view because you don't trust your own point of view. You don't trust what you're thinking about anything. You don't trust what you've got to say about things. Some things probably that are black and white maybe, but you don't trust your own opinion and point of view. You've got a lot of doubt, you've got a lot of worrying, a lot of judging of others, and a lot of avoiding of anything. So mentally, it's a lot of hard work not to trust, really. It's tiring, really, not to trust. Emotionally, you're just all over the place. Basically, you just put in you're getting sad, you're not trusting, so you're down, you're sort of kind of depressed, you're not trusting in your own ability, your self-esteem's not going to be there, you're not expressing yourself, so you're getting blocks within your system, and you're just going to make yourself ill, really, eventually. And spiritually, whatever that word means, I'm a bit confused by that a lot of the time, is just you're not true to yourself, you're not being true to who you are. So that's what I'll put for that one. Okay.
But it's the flow of life, isn't it? You block the flow of life.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what I keep saying about emotions and the flow of life. It's all like a river, and you've got to keep the river flowing, otherwise it becomes a stagnant pond. You know, it's so easy to just dwell on things and to take negative things on board rather than taking positive things on board. You know, you look at a young children, their emotions just flow right through them, don't they? One minute they're happy, one minute they're sad, and you know what I mean? We can learn so much from just being around children and spending time with them.
Most definitely.
Trusting is letting go of the shoulds, have to do, the demands, the expectations, the fears, the illusions, the delusions. The more you open up, and the more you open up to trust, and the more you trust yourself, the more automatic it becomes within you. You know, a nation of people who do not trust and do not trust in their own inner voice and in their own inner self. Who do they look for authority? Who do they look for control? They don't trust themselves, and they're going to be following other people, aren't they? So it's so important, if you want to be the change, if you want to change, you want the world to change, and you want everything to be a more positive place, and we have to work on ourselves. And trusting is a really big step of that. Trusting to be in that moment and just be happy and appreciate in the moment that you're in without worrying and stress, because then that just takes you out of the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So trust is one of those things that takes you into the moment, I would say.
And what about, like, trust of others is kind of another ball game, really, isn't it? I was pondering on that as well and thinking there must be different types of trust. Like, generally, I would say anyone I meet, I trust, even someone I've just met, until they give me a reason not to. And then it's not like an emotional reaction you need to have. It's just a process to enable you to know.
I just think you need to...
Sorry,
I think you just need to get rid of these others. I think everyone has to just get rid of these others when it comes to trust, and learn to trust themselves. You know, most of the time if somebody gets ripped off or something happens to them, something warned them beforehand. Something they thought wasn't right during some period, and they still continue to go on and go forward because they didn't take action on what they felt to be right. You know, I can look at the situations I've got myself into in the past. You know, if I'd have trusted myself and my opinion of what I was thinking and where I was at that particular time, then maybe I wouldn't have ended up in those situations if I had that trust in the first place. But it could be different people in different situations. You know, I can only talk about my own personal experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just thinking that, like, trust is linked to vulnerability, because you know, you've got like your raw self inside, and I would say I'm quite like a rock, really, and I've got one bit that I can't let go to anyone, really. Like when I came up to Ashton, Paul was trying to hold my head and I couldn't let it go. It's really bad. Like, it's just that, you know, like in a personal capacity, in personal relationships, you know, friendships and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is just, I think it just comes down to yourself, really, you know, and it is really hard to trust yourself. Like, I've been ripped off. I've had all sorts of things happen to me at the hands of other people, as so to say. But, you know, I reached a point in my life, really, where I do trust myself, and I do take steps forward. What I think, like what you were saying about vulnerability and trust, is one of the points I wanted to bring up. Is like, trust to me is a bit like a companion plant. You know, if you put it next to vulnerability, if you put trust next to vulnerability, you'll walk forward through the vulnerability. If you put trust next to fear, you'll walk through the fear. You know, trust is like a champion or companion. Is it companion? Is champion companion plant to me? That's how I see it these days. Okay, so when you trust in life, you take more risks as well. You come out of your comfort zone more. You take more risk required to grow and to live an expansive life. with trust on your side, you can do things that you might have been too scared. Like I said, it walks hand in hand with fear. You know, it is something that you can walk with, fear. You know, and it will get you through there. It's an amazing thing, this trust. Trust listening to yourself, and it really is. It's amazing. When you feel fear, better able to deal with it. I have just said that. You know, you've got to cultivate your trust. You know, you something you have to let grow within yourself and to expand, and by talking and acting upon your inner feelings and your inner emotions and trust in yourself and trust in what you're going to create for yourself next. Don't come from a point of fear. You know, if you're coming from a point of fear, you make yourself quite unreachable as well, and you know, it's visibly rigid. You make yourself, you know, how can energy flow through a rigid body? How can you enter into a sharing lifestyle if you're too scared to trust? How can you do all these things that we all really want to do and we all want to be part of and we all deserve, if you're not going to trust in yourself and in life's processes and then in the life that you are creating for yourself? You know, it's not a nice place to be when you don't trust yourself. We all end up in situations that are hurtful, but we've all got the ability to move on from those situations, and we've all got the ability to learn from them situations, and we've all got the ability to trust again. We really have. If I can, anyone can. Because trust gives you life force energy. It gives you peace of mind. Like, if you're trusting, you're not worrying, are you? You're just happy in the moment. Don't waste time worrying past the future. Develop everything is okay attitude, because you need that attitude. You need everything is okay. I've fallen out of a window, fell 3 floors, and I said to myself the whole way landing down, don't worry, Sarah, everything will be okay. You'll be okay, Sarah. Don't worry, you won't hurt yourself. And that was about that. I think for that much, maybe a bit more. I landed on my feet, broke a fingernail, bruised the bottom of my foot, and grazed my knee a bit, and that was all I did. And I really do believe that's because I trusted that I was going to be all right, even when I was falling, which a height straight onto a concrete floor. I could have killed myself. I could have easily broke my back. Anything could have happened to me, but I trusted, and I'm all right. It did hurt. I'm not saying it didn't hurt. I did have an ice pack on my foot, and I couldn't walk on it for a little while, but it was just bruised. You know, I mean, considering I'd fallen from such a height. I done all right there, really. Okay, so it irradiates from your center. It irradiates out of you. You know, it irradiates out into the world. If you trust, then you're taking responsibility for how you respond to things, and that really shows up in life. You're allowing to live from a place of power and strength. Feeling empowered enables you to live full and a powerful life. And by power and empowering, I just mean your own personal power, not power over anyone else, but your own personal empowerment is the empowerment which gives you strength to move forward in life and to be the person who you truly want to be, and not to allow life to make you into somebody that you don't want to be, or other people's neglect or other people's not very good behaviour make you into somebody that you don't want to be. I always remember that when I was a child, a teenager, saying nobody's ever going to change me but me, and then realising years later that lots of the experiences that I'd had in life, I did mention this last week, had changed me. And when I realised that, I decided I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted to be the person who decided as and when I was changing. I'm not going to change as a reaction because of somebody else's bad behaviour. I'm still going to be true to myself. I'm still going to be the person who I want to be today. I'm not going to let other people's bad behaviour break my trust in life, break my trust in me, and make me into a defensive person that I don't want to be. I'm not saying that I don't ever feel these emotions. I do feel these emotions. Sometimes I feel very protective over myself. Sometimes I feel very disempowered, you know, but these times don't last as long as what they used to, and I'm better able to trust. And like I said before, sometimes when I'm just feeling fearful or or like I'm not trusting in life. I just say, I trigger the love, I trigger the light, I trigger the love, I trigger the light, and I just get all the energy moving through me, and I'll just keep doing that so that I'm not focusing on the negative. I'm not focusing on these untrusting things. I'm not focusing on this. I'm actually focusing on love and light and nice energies and getting my energy flowing again. I'm focusing on niceness rather than negative, well, not so niceness. Okay, trust is also like a catalyst for transformation and healing. I don't really like the word healing, but it's just if you're not very well or you're emotionally stressed or strained, trust is what is the catalyst for this to happen. It's the trusting in your ability as a human being to facilitate the healing, to facilitate the unblocking of the energies, to facilitate these transformations in your life that you want to see. Living in trust allows you to do all these things. You'll find that your life starts flowing more, and unexpected friendships appear, opportunities, and you recognize them more, and you take them. It's not just about opportunities arising before us, because opportunities always rise before us. It's about taking the trust to actually take them, to blindly go where no man's gone before, or where you haven't gone before. It takes trust. Synchronicities start appearing, and connectedness appears. You feel more connected in life. You feel more part of the magic of life. You trust. You can see the magic around you. You can see the beauty around you, and you know that your life is just going to carry on having lots of beauty and magic happening in it. Trust is an amazing thing. Actually, I love it. So cultivating the power of internal trust, transformation, and healing. That's just amazing, isn't it? All with trust. It's funny when you actually just take the time out and look at all of these different emotions and sort of look at them for what they truly are, and what they are if you haven't got them, what you become without them, and it's so good to be able to be aware of these and to trust that you can be the person that you truly are. When you are trust, when you're living with trust, you no longer have the role of the victim or blame. It makes you make more empowered choices right for you, and that's back on what I was saying before. Do you want to say something, Nerys? Go on.
Yeah, I was just going to give a little example actually, because I've been able to do that better recently. Kind of with generally things in life, just let them go and let them happen, and kind of just slide over it. And I'm having a little get together. The little one was 3 the other day, so I'm having a get together on Sunday. It's kind of all slapdash, and there was 3 people that I really needed to speak to. In years previous, I'd probably been stressing and running around and stuff, and they weren't where I thought they were going to be. And then, amazingly, they all just appeared to me. The one girl randomly came past, and someone else grabbed her because she knew I wanted to speak to her, and then she appeared there. And then I walked up the road, and the other people that I really needed to speak to were there. It was absolutely amazing. And then the other person, someone else, said they'd get them for me and let them know that I was trying to get hold of them. And that was all in the space of a couple of hours of just not stressing and just thinking, oh yeah, I quite need to speak to them, and just letting it happen. It's amazing.
Yeah, you're just letting the energy flow, aren't you, Rob? Yeah. And you're trusting in life's process, and you're trusting in your abilities to create your own life, and that you're going to create a life that's convenient, not a life that's difficult. It's just that, and things will slot into place and happen like that. It's a good thing. Thanks for your input, Nerys. Okay, so transformation, did I say that? Yeah, transformation and healing allows you to be in the moment. So, this is where we all want to be. We all want to be in the moment. We don't want to be anywhere else but the moment, because that's the only real place there is. Anywhere else is just a figment of your imagination. Lots of people are scared of dying and hold themselves back from living. That's another thing that people do. They don't trust that, So they're not living their life to the full opportunity or taking up the opportunities because they think things are going to happen to them or they're going to get ill or this is going to happen or that's going to happen. We really need to stop holding ourselves back, because we are the only people that hold ourselves back. Nobody else holds us back. We are the only ones, If you live in a place of self-doubt and uncertainty, fear invisibly radiates out into the physical world. Trust enables you to look within and begin the healing process. And you trust that you've got the ability to do this. You trust you've got the ability to sort yourself out. You trust you've got the ability to sort your own shit out. You trust you've got the ability to get over anything that you've been through in life. You trust you've got the ability to move forward in the best way you possibly can. And I recommend, like, if you are struggling with things, that you just take things one step at a time. Each day you start trusting yourself that bit more and doing more of what you enjoy, even if it's only a little bit each day. Pushing yourself in that direction, taking the risks, and allowing yourself the space to grow. Trust irradiates health and happiness, I always think people that trust always make good salespeople. Because people can feel when you trust, don't they? So you're more likely to buy something from somebody you trust than somebody you don't trust, aren't you? It just gets you loads more places in life because people are more open to somebody who trusts. Trusting in yourself involves willingness and confidence to rely on your own integrity, freedom, alternatively, and peace, and authenticity, and peace. Trust requires living in in your own skin, living in your own skin and recognizing that. So it's trusting who you are and being happy and accepting who you are. Trusting in yourself. It does go hand in hand with acceptance, as well. It's another thing that it goes hand in hand with. Is trust, because if you accept yourself, it's easier to accept yourself if you have trust. And the more you trust yourself, the more you're able to express yourself, and that's obviously good for you. It's good for your higher self, and it's good to yourself, your whole self. It's good to be able to it's good to be able to express yourself and trust in your abilities to that, and not because a lot of people get too scared to trust. Does anyone want to join in? We've got somebody else in the room. Do you want to join in?
Yeah, well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Good.
Tidance? How do you
Hi.
say your name?
No, it's just a name for a radio station I have here in Denmark. Well, I used to have. So, but I didn't change the name. But my name is Richard.
Hello, Richard. And welcome to the I Am Show.
Thank you so much. And I would like to first of all say thank you to everybody around the Darkcity Radio. It's an incredible project you have raised here, and I really enjoy being one of the first listeners. Here in Denmark, and giving the other people around me the opportunity to listen to radio stations like yours. It's very good. Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about trust on this radio show.
I know. Yeah. Yes. Sorry. And then to that, I'd like to also give my opinion on this trust thing, because you have to. What I also hear you say is that you have to allow yourself to trust, and that also includes maybe cleaning a bit up in your own life before you allow that. You can allow that moment of now to be pleasant somehow.
Yeah, I've done a lot of clearing up recently. I don't know. Do you regularly listen to the show, or just because I've been talking about clearing spaces for quite a while now? Because probably it was a few months ago I did a lot of clearing out of my physical space, and of my internal space, and I sorted out, I threw out loads of stuff out of my house, bin bags full of stuff, took loads of stuff down the charity shop, got rid of loads of old sentimental pieces of paper, notes, letters, all sorts of stuff.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Right.
I cleared loads and loads of space, and I actually have been feeling really excited because I know that I've cleared loads of space, and there has been lots of different opportunities rising up before me from doing that. And I also found while I was doing that, my thought patterns became clearer, and I became a lot lighter.
Yeah.
And I was better able to deal with the things that I needed to deal with in my life. And I still feel loads lighter, and I see lots of opportunities coming towards me, and I'm going to take them. I'm going to trust in my abilities and grab them with both hands.
Right. And for the most important thing is to be in the now, and to be kind of allowing yourself to be in the now, because you don't have anything else to worry about, and your life is pretty much cleaned up, and all the papers that you have around is regarding the past time, and a lot of is also regarding the future, and that's why you sometimes have to clean that up and get it out of your system and get it out of your drawers somehow.
Yeah, definitely. I was a terrible hoarder. Honestly, I had stuff from school, and I'm 38 now, so I had loads of really stupid bits of paper that I'd had for ages. So it was amazing to get rid of it all.
It is. Yes.
Well worth it. Well worth it. In the end.
Well, I will just like to say thank you again for the show, and I'll drop out and let others come through, and then I hope to talk to you again somehow.
Thank you very much for phoning in. Come back. You're always
I will.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Oh, that was nice, wasn't it? I've never had a caller that I haven't spoken to or met before, if you know what I mean. That was the first one, a random caller I've ever had. Oh, that's good. Okay, so if we don't trust within ourselves, and we, like I've already said this, really, we're relying on external forces rather than trusting our internal ones, and this it leaves you open to all sorts of things, doesn't it? To have to listen to other people for authority, It's really not where you want to be. I don't anyway. So it's not good for you at all. It's not good for you physically, emotionally, or on any level whatsoever. Successful people trust the decisions they make and the choices they make when it comes to their business or whatever, or success in whatever they're successful at, whatever it is, whatever project they're doing. They obviously trust in their ability to do that in the first place. So if you want to succeed at something, you need to trust in your ability to do it, to succeed in something. It makes it a lot better, So we need to. This is what he was saying as well. Is like concentrating on the moment, here and now, enables us to take the appropriate action in the only time frame we can actually take the opportunity in the present, and that's why it's called the present, because it is our gift. And to be in the present moment, you need to be able to trust. We all know what it feels like to be in the present moment. It's when you're not worrying about anything. It's when you're not anxious about anything, and you're just really enjoying and grateful for where you are at that present moment in time, And what an amazing place to be. It's like what Nerisse was talking about. She was there in the moment, and all these opportunities and connections were being made for her, and all this networking was being done because she was there in the moment, and it was all happening around her spontaneously, rather than if she was sat at home worrying about how to get in contact with all these people. She could have been there for hours or days trying to get hold of these people when it actually only took minutes. Okay, so how it feels to be in trust, basically you feel more relaxed, more comfortable, more open, more graceful in movement. I always go on about how important it is to keep moving, to keep physically fit. If you look at kids, you just watch them, how much they move around, how much they run around. We get all this trained out of us by sitting down in school, it's not good to just sit down all day. And if you do sit down all day, well, then you need to make that little bit of an effort to actually stretch and get your muscles moving. Otherwise, you're just going to seize up and you're not going to be able to move, and your energies won't be able to flow as well either. And, I think this has got a lot to do with the deterioration in human beings, is that when they just don't move enough. We don't move enough anymore, And sitting in chairs is really unnatural, I think. It's good to just sit on the floor, even if it is only for about 10 minutes in the day, and just have a bit of a stretch your legs out and bend down towards them. And this is all this is really good. All this flexibility is and movement, you can actually feel afterwards. You can feel that you've released energy. You can feel that it's moved. If you're stiff and rigid somewhere, then you need to get that area lubricated, and the only way to get it lubricated is movement. If people moved more, experienced their feelings and allowed them to flow more, and ate a good diet, we wouldn't have hardly any of the health concerns and issues that we have now. Those three things would just be like amazing, really, for everyone to do. It's, you've got to look after yourself, really. You really have to keep yourself flowing and moving, and to be able to work at your optimum, and to be your optimum, and to be your true self, to be true to yourself. And that's all we want to be, really, isn't it? We all want to be true to ourselves. We all want to be able to express ourselves. We're all unique, amazing individuals, and we all should all trust in the talents and the beauties that we all have, because we've all got them, and we've just buried them and denied them and not had confidence in our own abilities, and that needs to stop. If this world's to change, then we've all got to trust ourselves. We've all got to move forward, move backwards, bend about. Get that energy flowing. That's what I say. Okay, so yeah, mentally. So I've said things flow better. In the moment, when you're in the moment and you're trusting, mentally, you're just in a beautiful place, aren't you? Emotionally, trust allows you to go with the flow. It allows you to be confident in that particular present moment, and it just and the more you are trusting, the more you begin to trust yourself. And so it's great, really. And we need to start letting go with all the shoulds and have tos and demands. I've already said all that, I'm sure I have. Okay. So that basically, does anyone want to say anything else? No? Okay. So basically, when you trust, you do move out of your comfort zone, which is great. It stops you from being, because a comfort zone is somewhere where you become quite stagnant. You get stuck in your own little routines, and a comfort zone isn't really. It becomes a very uncomfortable place to be. Actually, I don't really see what's so comfortable about a comfort zone, but that's what it's called, because it's a comfort zone, because people are too scared to break the routine. And that's, like I said, trust holds hands with fear and helps you walk forward. Trust holds hands with vulnerability and helps you walk forward. Life is an amazing experience. The world is a beautiful place. There's so many places to see, so many people to meet. It's just an absolute amazing and beautiful and wonderful experience, and we should all trust to live it. To live it to our full potential. We should all trust ourselves enough. I've cleared all this space in my life, and my life at the moment, I'm happy with. I've got my sister around the corner. I'm happy with where I live and everything. But I'm actually trusting to take a big step and move to Spain with everyone, because I'm trusting that is going to be a really good opportunity for me, and I'm not going to sit back and not take that opportunity. I'm going to trust in life that this opportunity has come forward for me, and I'm going to take it. It's going to be an amazing experience what we're going to be doing with the Rick Simpson oil, and the amount of people that are going to benefit, and the amount of people whose lives are going to be extended. And it's just absolutely amazing thing to be part of. Yeah, and I can't believe it. I'm so excited, and I trust that this is the right thing for me to do. And I'm willing to move out of my comfort zone on a personal level. Me personally, I'm going to move out of my comfort zone yet again, because I often move out of my comfort zones, because I don't find them very comfortable. And I'm going to go for it. And so are quite a few other of us. We're all going to trust in this, and we're all going to trust each other, I suppose. Because we trust ourselves, and we're gonna step forward, and we're gonna go and do this, and we're gonna make it real, and we're gonna make it happen, and loads of people are gonna benefit from it, and we're gonna meet loads of great people, and people's lives are gonna be prolonged, and other people are gonna start doing more of what we're doing, and hopefully one day none of us are going to actually need these associations and these cures, because we're going to be able to sort our own shit out on an emotional level, a physical level, a mental level, and on every single spiritual level, on every single level possible, so that we no longer carry disease or DEs, or whatever people say it, shorten it to and make it to, I can't remember. DEs, or I don't know. Something like that. Dis-ease. I don't Anyway, I'll give up on that one for now. Trust, I've had to put a lot of trust in myself for doing this show, and I trust in my abilities. A lot of the time I only just write myself little scarce notes or whatever, and I just trust in my ability of saying the right thing at the right time. And I've been doing that quite a lot, and over the years, is trusting my abilities, and saying positive affirmations as well has often helped me move forward. I'm in the right place at the right time. I trust I'm in the right place at the right time, and I trust I'm saying the right things at the right time. The trust allows you to grow, and it's like a massive release. The pressure's finally off when you start trusting. You start being in the moment, the gift and the present, and not worrying about what other people might or might not do to you, or how people might or might not treat you. There's always going to be funny people out there, but we do need to learn to trust ourselves. Trust isn't the same as reliability. Then they aren't the same thing. Somebody can be really reliable but untrustworthy. So yeah. So trust is something else, and trust has given me lots of drive in my life to move forward in my life. It's given me the ability to move forward in my life, and to make a lot of the decisions, and to have a lot of the journeys that I've had. I trusted in my abilities to drive from one end of Australia to the other on my own. I did it all right. Nothing happened of a horrible nature. Everything was fine. It was an amazing experience. I loved it. It was, it was a right eye opener for me in a lot of ways to do that. And because I didn't have any radio or music or anything for 5 days of it. So it was just complete silence for 5 days and me on my own. It was pretty mad. So I really enjoyed it though. It really did sort my head out actually. And I found when I did get music, it kind of distracted me a bit more. I was a bit more up and down and round with music. Anyway, I've only got 2 minutes left, so I've only got a little bit more to say. So it's about, basically for me, it's about trusting who I am in life, and trusting in my own ability to carve my own path. I'm a very independent person, so this gives me a lot of trust, because just to know that you've got the ability to get by on your own. To trust in yourself, and it's not that hard really to survive without other people. It's all right. Obviously, I don't mean on complete isolation on your own. I just mean independent, not too much independence, but getting the balance right. And yeah, I've got 1 minute left, so I just wanted to say, just open yourself up to trusting yourself, and just watch how your life changes. And it's always great to have feedback, so or for people to join in. You're all always welcome on Darkcity Radio, and you're all always welcome on the I Am show. Thank you to everyone who's joined in, and I can't believe I had a caller from Denmark. It's amazing. Thank you everyone who's been listening, and thank you, and I'll speak to you all again next week. Thanks. Bye.